you through the van layout a little bit and how we've got some of the decisions so far. One thing to note is during the planning time, it's awesome to draw loads of pictures and sort of think about all your ideas. It's really hard to visualise what they're going to look like until you actually have the van. So I used a software called the Van Space 3D, which is definitely worth checking out. It's a new company where some guys have developed some software and allows you to drag and drop all of these shapes and sort of things like kitchen sinks, try out different layouts and see what you like the look of. And that's been really awesome, but it wasn't until I actually got the van and I could measure things out that I could really sort of visualise it in my own head properly. And then the other thing that I've been using to help me design is just going back to good old graph, grid line paper and pen and pencil, and then you can just make a really accurate drawing, and then you know whether things are going to fit in or not. And yeah, sometimes the simple things are the best things to rely on. Loads of things to think about when deciding your layout, and it can seem pretty daunting because every decision you make you compromise on something else, but the way that we've done it is we have decided what our non-negotiables are and then have built from there. So our conversion is basically built all around our bed, so we want a fixed bed so we can store mountain bikes underneath it, all our climbing gear, and not have to worry about them being exposed to the elements or being pinched on the back of the van if we're not using them. So that was easy, big fixed bed. But the problem with a fixed bed is that you lose a lot of living space. So we've had to think long and hard on how we can get some living space back into the van, even though she's an absolute monster. Not quite as big as you think by the time you put everything in. So what we've done to extend the living space is make an extendable bed. So by pushing the bed back during the day, it's very easy, you don't have to remake your bed, you just move a bit of foam out of the way, and then you've got that will reveal more seats. Whereas if the bed was truly fixed, then it takes up 2 meters of the van, and I'm very tall, so that's my fault. And then that will still allow us to keep our mountain bikes stored underneath, climbing ropes, climbing mats, all of that. That's super important, and that's the whole reason why we've got the van. But that will reveal some sitting areas where we can sit down and eat tea. The other big consideration that we wanted to make is whether we would leave the cab open or closed. So the cab is the divider, sorry, the bulkhead is the divider between the cab and the back of the van. There's loads of reasons to remove it, loads of reasons not to. So a couple of them are heat loss. The major heat loss in the van is through the windows of the cab, and we want to take our van to the mountain, so we're like, oh man, should we keep it in and insulate it? And then also it allows another wall to build upon, so you'll see lots of van designs where people put their kitchen on the back of the bulkhead and then go round, and then there's a seating area which looks really awesome. The problem is, because we've got the fixed bed and I'm so long, we have very little living space, and if we open that cab out we can then swivel the seats and that extends it, and that's really nice. And then the other consideration is, do you want to be able to get into the cab from the inside of the van, or do you have to get out every time and go round? On the surface of things that doesn't seem like a major issue, bit of a pain if it's raining, but it's not the end of the world. But I've had quite a few people that I know of who've been sleeping in their van, someone's tried to break in, and it's always nice to be able to jump into the driver's seat, turn the engine on and drive off, or beat the horn, and you can't do that if that's all blocked off. So on the balance of things, because we've got fixed bed, less living space, we've decided to remove the cab wall, and then we can swivel the seats and have a really nice big seating area. Other things that we wanted to make sure that we had was a big fridge so we can keep all of our food in. We wanted an oven because who doesn't want pizza after a hard day climbing? And we wanted heat. So as I said, we want to go to the mountain ranges, so we need some way of heating the van. There's an awesome Truma heater system that we're going to plumb in that provides heating and hot water, and that's pretty cool, well, hopefully very warm, because it does the whole thing in one system. We're putting gas in anyway for the oven, so it's not a big deal, it's a nice system to have, so we've gone for that. The other thing is, a lot of these vans, they put showers in, and we were to and fro whether we really wanted a shower or not. The problem with showers is they take up a massive amount of space, and how often are you going to use them, and how likely are you going to be away from other areas where you can get a shower. And the other consideration is, if you want to have a shower, you need to carry all of that water with you as well, so you need a huge amount of storage for all of the water, and we've decided against it because we can wash in the sink, we can wash in showers wherever we are. But then we were thinking, well, actually, if we're in the sea, you don't want to go to sleep in salty sea water. So we're going to put a shower out the back of the van, so we save on the space, and we'll only use it for a quick rinse, so we also get around carrying a huge water tank with us, which is what we've decided, so that's pretty cool. Other considerations are whether you put windows in or not. As I said, you lose a lot of heat out the front of the cab, so do you want to plaster your wall van with windows? We've decided to put 2 small windows at the rear, and the reason why we want to do that is you need air flow through a van to stop condensation building up. So with a fan at the front which can extract air and windows open, you get really nice good airflow through, so you get little condensation, and also when it's really hot and you're trying to sleep at night, you can have that nice breeze going through over your face, which is pretty cool. And because they're little windows, we can plug them up with foam insulation covers in the winter if it's really cold. So that's why we've done that. Other things to think about are, if you want to reclassify your van as a motorhome, you need a certain amount of windows on the outside and all these other specifications, so it's worth having a look at those. So I will take you to the van so you can have a rough look of how things are going to work. Sweet, so inside the van you can see we've built the bed already because I got bored waiting for the garage which is going to repair Gwen. So this is the sliding bed I was talking about. So when pushed all the way back, it's 150 centimetres, and then during the daytime we can pull the bed out. When we're sleeping we can pull the bed out, and then you've got a 2 metre long bed, so that's pretty awesome. And then the idea is that we'll slide it back to 170. That will reveal seats that you can sit on during the daytime, and then if you slide it even further back, then you can get access behind the seats to some extra storage for clothes. Other things that we need to think about is Ford are a bit of a nightmare, and they put their wiring harness on the outside of the van rather than inside this lovely channel here, and there's no obvious disconnect points to be able to reroute the cable on the inside, so it would involve cutting them and splicing them all together. It's a pretty big job, and one that I'm going to avoid, but I'm not too worried about it because we're going to put cupboards which span the length of the top of the van. So here's going to be the kitchen area, and then you're going to want cupboards to grab all your bits and bobs, and then once you get over to the bed we're going to have crates for clothes and things like that, so this one will be hidden, which is pretty awesome. So standing right in front of us we'll have fridge, oven, and then sink to do all your washing up and all your nonsense. And then sat here you can have 2 seats, and they're going to have seat belts, and the best thing about that is you don't want to have a van and not be able to share it with everyone. So we have 3 seats in the front and then 2 seats in the back, and we'll get these fabricated out of steel and put seat belts into them, and then bolt them through the floor to the chassis, so then we can take friends and family away and have fun. And then let me show you the bulkhead really quickly. So this big black sheet, that's the bulkhead, so that's what we need to remove, and that will allow us to swivel a double seat round. So we'll have 2 seats there, and then 2 seats at the foot of the bed, and then a really nice swanky kitchen along here, and we're all good. And then you can see my little yellow post-it notes where I'm pretending that there's sockets, so I can think about how I'm going to put all of the wiring through before we insulate the van. So we'll run conduit across the ceiling and down these main beams, and we will go from there. And then you can see lots of blue marker pen where I've been outlining the multiple designs that we've settled upon. So bed is made, which is awesome. We'll rip that out for when they're doing the work on the van. And then the next job, once the van is back, is we'll mark out a 14-inch square in the ceiling and then cut that out so we can put the max air fan in. And then on the back right hand side is where the port windows are going to be. So I'll mark those out, we'll cut them and install the windows. And then once all the cutting is done, I'll put the floor down first, which has already been cut, just needs to be stuck down. And then we'll start insulating all of the walls, and then probably line the ceiling. Then I will probably do the rest of the wiring, and then we'll start building cabinetry such and such. So we'll keep you all posted, and fingers crossed that Gwen gets fixed and there's no other horrible expenses which are hidden. And I'll also keep you up to date with fabricating that bed out of steel, so I can't weld, which is a bit of a shame. But it's going to be pretty awesome to have extra seats in the back. So I'll keep you posted. Peace!